Dear friends, I'm recording this message on World Children's Day from a country where children's safety is under the greatest threat. We have just marked the 1000th day of our defense against Russian aggression. But we have reached this point with tragic losses. 589 of our children have been killed by Russian bombs and missiles. This means a child in Ukraine dies every 2 days as the Russian aggression continues. 19,000 children have been abducted by Russia and taken away. We know nothing about them and are making extraordinary efforts to bring them home. Not to mention the fact that 37% of children living in such conditions show signs of PTSD. 80% suffer from stress and severe anxiety. The sense of total insecurity among children is a global issue. This year's summit of First Ladies and Gentlemen focused on children, specifically the critical aspect of their safety in all its dimensions. A special survey from the summit revealed that 75% of parents across 15 countries feel anxious and believe their children are in greater danger than they themselves were as children. This is how war affects the global world. It spreads anxiety and uncertainty not only where bombs are falling. Our children understand everything. They sense the helplessness of adults. We as adults must finally stand united to protect our children and prove to them that we can do so. For this reason, an expert document based on Ukraine's experience in child protection and developed based on our declaration has already been presented at the special event during the UN General Assembly. I hope this document will serve as an effective tool for the international community. I would like to thank my colleagues from the global platform of the Summit of First Ladies and Gentlemen, who have consistently worked to protect children in Ukraine and around the world. Let us remember the safety of the most vulnerable not just today, on this occasion, but every day. Thank you.
As a former principal, now a mother and grandmother, the importance of child safety is a very real concern. I saw firsthand how deeply the struggles that children have at home affected their ability to focus and to thrive at school. Many came to class carrying the weight of abuse, neglect, hunger, and trauma, burdens that made it nearly impossible for them to engage in their lessons. These children often hid their struggles only to face further bullying at school, where their peers and even teachers were not fully aware of the complexity of their pain. This is why, as the principal, I often stepped in to find out why a child was not performing academically or was behaving out of character. There were many times when I felt helpless, even hopeless, fearing for these children's safety and future. I worried about what would happen to them as they grew older, carrying the scars and trauma at such a young age. Still, I remained hopeful because I knew with certainty that children are resilient and that with the right support, care, and attention, they can overcome anything. So, let's ask the questions. Let's get involved because child safety calls on all of us to protect and safeguard children from violence, exploitation, abuse, and neglect.
Every child deserves a safe and joyful childhood, without wars, without anger, without mental distress. They should grow up in a world where they feel protected and valued. Ensuring child safety is not only about protecting them today, it is about laying the foundation for the future, well-being and happiness. In today's world, we need to support children on a range of areas, from access to education to a stable domestic and learning environment. We need to pay special attention to mental health, as those problems among young people are rising globally. If we fail to act, we miss the chance to build a brighter future for us all. Estonia is determined to promote and protect children's rights through international organizations, bilateral relations, development cooperation, and humanitarian aid. Children's rights are also one of the Estonians' key priorities as a candidate for the United Nations Human Rights Council.
One of the highest threats nowadays for children's safety around the world is inaction, our own inaction. As adults, as people in position of authority, in decision-making positions, we are the ones who are not doing enough and are not acting fast enough and in a focused way to do whatever we can do to stop different threats for children's safety. It is something that can be done. We all know it. We must act on what we know, on what we have the authority to do, and we must do it right away. There are many excuses, but let's stop all those excuses. Let's think about the safety of those children who have nobody else to count on than us. Us adults that are in different ways related to the safety of their environment, at home, in the internet, in the cities, in schools, and in every country around the world. Let's stop saying that it takes time, that there are so many political things involved. Let's stop delaying the right decisions. Let's act now. All of us know what we must do. So let's make the decision and let's act upon what we know it's just, it's right, and it's urgent for children's safety around the world.
The need for the feeling of safety is one of the basic needs of each living being. When it comes to children, the need for safety becomes absolute priority. Responsibility of us adults, parents, guardians, professors, and society is of vital importance here. The responsibility within the family, at school, social and public space, virtual one. One of the biggest challenges today globally is precisely the danger in the world lurking behind the lights of the computer and telephone screens. The most horrible insults are waiting behind the keypad. The uncertainty is achieved from anonymous profiles. Certainty is undermined by public humiliation. Today, on the World Children's Day, let us remember our role, the role of each one of us individually in the most important mission to protect the children and the youth from physical danger, but also from one that is most often not visible at first sight.
As a parent, you never stop worrying about the safety of your child, regardless the age. This caring extends to all the children you see being in danger. But one thing is certain, the most endangered children today are those who are exposed to war, directly or indirectly. Working together, as we do in the Summit of First Ladies and Gentlemen, can bring the problem of child safety to more public attention. Slovenia is a safe country, yet children are under a lot of pressure. That's why my wife and the team of her foundation are just starting a project to provide psychosocial support to children through empowering teachers and volunteers. Last year, I was in the forest of Moshchun, where Russian advance on Kiev was stopped. Photos of many young defenders who gave their lives are there, on the trees. Seeing that, one thought was overwhelming. These boys and girls are the age of my son Max. We must continue to loudly condemn wars and fight in all possible ways against those who cause pain and suffering of our children.
On this World Children's Day, let us reflect on the world we are shaping for our children. A world where they deserve to thrive, not just survive. One of the biggest threats to their potential today is screen addiction. This hinders their ability to focus, concentrate, and create. Technology should empower, not trap them in mindless scrolling or hours spent gaming. In Suriname, I have launched initiatives like How We Feel, giving children a safe space to express themselves with professional guidance, and Me Time teaches mindful breathing exercises and self-reflection. These programs help children reconnect to their feelings, potential, and sense of self. Our children need us to act now. Together, we can protect their minds, nurture their development, and ensure every child has a chance. Let us build a brighter future because it's in our hands. Lobby.